Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, depending where you are living right now, or even good morning. I have no idea if you're American, maybe it is morning. Either way, we are ready to go into game number 2. Have to remind you again that game number 1 was already played a couple days ago. Afterwards, Navi had some internet issues, and we have elected to take today. And in the meantime, actually, while I'm talking, I'll interrupt myself, as Warwick could be going down. He has managed to flash through that wall. Dark Binding narrowly missed him from the Morgana. And that's not going to be first blood, but I think Warwick was probably feeling the pressure a tiny bit there, and basically I hope he wasn't needing the bathroom, otherwise he could have just evacuated himself there. But either way, we are right into this game, 1 minute 15 through. Doesn't look like we're going to have any of the early team fights there, but Warwick, importantly enough, Enzi, has burnt that flash at top, and you'd expect Nautilus to perhaps really zone in at that top lane to try the gank while it's off cooldown.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they've got that to their advantage now. They know Warwick has his flash down, and the important thing to note, Vince, is that Olaf has actually got the Brolaf skin, so he's definitely got to be a much better Olaf. Just have to throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to get all fanboyish and say, we've got a Bromercia in the house, but, it's kind of, it's obvious now. I don't want to become too predictable, but yes, guys, I love Olaf, and I love this skin. It's the best skin in the game. It's going to be Olaf facing off against Warwick, as we said before, at that top lane. It looks like Nocturne is going to get that blue just fine on the opposite side. Nautilus going to be picking up the blue as well, with Olaf giving a hand, and at bot lane, if you have just joined us, is going to be Ijana and Tristan facing off against Urgot and Soraka. So early, not too much is happening, NZ, but I think it's going to go to that farming phase, and I would definitely expect to see Nautilus kind of pressuring that top lane, because Warwick still has more than half the time remaining on that flash cooldown.
Yeah, we did just see a bot lane though. Golems were trying to get up from Tristana down, and Urgot and Soraka just came in, and they actually stole the bigger golem as well, just for some harass. So they've started off very, very nicely at bot lane. Trist did pick up the small golem as well, but obviously, the bigger golem is worth much, much more.
Absolutely, and Nautilus is going to be going down for his red. On the opposite side, Nocturne is doing just the same. In fact, Nautilus doesn't seem to be too bothered. Going to be pushing back towards the top lane, and it's these opening few minutes, and really not a great deal happens unless you get those quick kind of ganks in. So I'm going to ask you for your predictions on these two team formats, the two team compositions that you currently see. Which of the two do you actually fancy? Having said that, though, sorry to jump in, but Nocturne is making his way towards top. He's actually going to come out of the bush here, so he's going to try this early gank on Brolaf, and he could actually be going down as the fear has been popped here. Of course, Olaf does not have the flash, but he has the ghost up. He's actually going to turn back around once again, like the boss he is. He's not going to be scared. He's going to be pushing back, and the reason for that is quite simply because Nautilus has moved his way up towards top. This could be an epic bait coming out here, as Nocturne has popped off the unspeakable horror, but seeing Nautilus will pull instantly back, and that is going to be the end of that confrontation. So just throwing the question back to you, Enzi, which of these two teams are you favouring?
I personally like Navi at level 6, basically because they can shut down the likes of Morgana, they can shut down the likes of Tristana, they have that Urgot ult, they have the Warwick ult, and they had Nocturne as well with that fear coming in, and obviously Anivia as well to add to the mix with the Ice Ball and the wall to completely deny, one champion, unless they can flash over that wall, can't get into the middle of the action and do any damage. So personally, from that, I think Navi look a bit stronger on champion picks. But question straight back at you, Vince. Who would you be preferring in this team composition, difference?
Well, the reason I asked you, Eddie, is because I'm really on the fence about this one. Honestly, I can't really distinguish between these two teams. Both teams can't reach each other very nicely indeed, and I think it's just going to be one of those cases of, which team really executes those team fights to the top capabilities. Of course, Dragon is going to be a huge factor in the early to kind of mid-game. Definitely one to watch. The only ward out right now is from the team of Tri, so obviously Navi have no kind of visibility whatsoever, but I doubt they're going to expect that 5-minute Dragon to come out. We did see Moscow 5 with Lee Sin and Carthus picking up, I think, the 3-minute Dragon Enzi, but that's the only time that I've actually seen that happen. So I definitely don't kind of blame Navi for not bothering with the ward coverage on Dragon this early on in the game.
Well, Moscow 5 has basically shown us so much stuff that you wouldn't expect to see. A Shaco AP mid, a level 3 dragon, so they're adding it to the mix. I don't think we're going to see it again this game. They haven't really got the champions to do so. Carthus can kind of just spam over the wall with the Q and the Lee Sin, obviously with that shield as well. But yeah, it's pretty standard stuff the first kind of 7-8 minutes, unless you do see them really good ganks in. But at level 6, I really think we're going to see a lot of action kicking off.
Yeah, we may not have to wait that long. I was about to say, because Nocturne's on the prowl, but so is that Nautilus as well at the top lane. Nautilus could very well be getting a Nocturne from behind here. Going to be a big tag team matchup in between these 4 at the top lane. Have some flashes going in, but here comes Nocturne from the backside. Ignite has been popped. Will Warwick go down though? No, the first blood will be going there onto Warwick from Olaf. Olaf then bites the dust afterwards from Warwick, so it is an exchange, but Olaf is definitely going to be feeling kind of hard done by there, as he was the recipient of the first blood. So Nesrelas has picked that one up. In the meantime, going to be more action at the bot lane as Tristana is forced to pull herself back to that tower. Has very low health, about 100 remaining, and Urgot and Soraka very aggressive. And one of the great things about this combination at bot lane, Enzi, is that Urgot, he has to spam off the Acid Hunters and Noxine Corrosive charges all the time, and Soraka with her infused can just give him all that mana back again. Janna under very heavy attack as well, so Urgot is really harassing that bot lane there from Troy back to that tower and also back to spawn. So this is going to be free creep score, some free XP and free gold going into the hands of that bot lane for Navi.
Yeah, Urgot early on is very strong, mid game is his best, and then late game he starts to fall off a bit personally. I think, you do build him quite tanky, and, when it goes later and later, Tristana's going to be able to build more and more damage, so she'll be dealing more damage, but I think just a couple ganks need to be put at bot lane for Try right there, just to, relieve the pressure off that bot lane. Otherwise, we could see a couple kills going down. Obviously, as you said, Soraka has that mana that she could just give to Urgot constantly, and then the Acid Hunters with the harass on Tristana is going to be very annoying for her.
Yeah, it's very difficult, because Tristana's having to really turtle this one back, and Urgot is going to go towards that fountain once again. Has already finished off Brutalizer, so his cooldown's going to be slightly better. Armor penetration and, of course, damage on top of that. He currently has 55 creep score to Tristana's 42, so a bit of a gap starting to open up there with 7 minutes 40 on the timer. And Tristana has only picked up the 2 Doran's blades and also the boots of speed with a sight ward, so definitely looking favourable there to Urgot. But as time goes on, Tristana, with that farm, is going to become more and more of a threat. Very similar to Cogmore in that kind of respect. But either way, as I'm talking, and Nivea has managed to pick up that blue buff, as Nocturne will very generously give it to her. But nice combination there from Morgana through the wall, landing the Dark Binding, and also the Tormented Soil, taking Anivia down to half health from pretty much full there. But of course, Anivia has the health pots that she's going to chug through, and she also has the blues, so she's going to be able to spam away so much in that mid lane. Really going to give her an advantage. How's the creep score looking right now? It is 60-60, so it's absolutely identical. Here come the 2 mid characters to each other once again. Soul Shackles has been popped there from Morgana, but is the egg still up? The answer is a yes, and here comes Nocturne with his paranoia, trying to put that pressure onto Morgana, and Morgana being forced to push back, but Anivia actually popping that flash to get through the wall. She didn't want to be vulnerable there after the Soul Shackle pop. So a lot of action here, Enzi, but not a lot of deaths.
And she still has a passive as well, obviously, with the egg, like you said. So, she's going to be very happy about that. Just burnt the flash. I think she's going to be playing a bit more defensive now until that flash is back up. And I think it'll be all good for Anivia in mid.
Indeed, Rebirth is still up. Maybe Anivia was just kind of thinking, well, wait a second, is there potentially going to be just more than Morgana here? Maybe Nautilus is prowling around as well, and that's why Morgana was a tiny bit more aggressive. But the answer, of course, for that one was a no, which is unbeknownst to Anivia. So we are back to that farming kind of stage once again. Morgana is now going to be given that blue from Nautilus. So in that respect, Morgana has the slight advantage. Anivia has already had blue for pretty much half of its duration, so Morgana's going to be coming back here with a fresh blue of her own, going to be able to spam for a bit longer. And how's that creep score went in the meantime? Well, the answer is that Morgana's actually ahead on creep score, and she's going to have blue for longer, so Morgana doing a great job there in the mid lane. Let's have a quick switch up to top lane. Looks like Olaf and Warwick are pretty much holding hands, very close to each other, but they are just going to try and keep up the creep score. They realise they probably can't take each other out without the help of their junglers, so instead of trying for the harass, they're just going to be picking up creeps. Let's have a look at that top lane CS. Olaf on 50, Warwick on 59. So Warwick obviously has the slight advantage, but nothing to really write home about. Bot lane has been slowly but surely creeping back in Tristana's favour, although she is still 10 creep score behind. But remember before, I think she's about 15 when I last mentioned it, so she is making a bit of a comeback. But nothing really to report so far, Enzi. It's 1-1, very, very close.
And obviously in that mid with that blue buff, Morgana can just keep putting that soil down, pushing the minions forward. And Nivea obviously did have her blue buff as well, and she can just put her ultimate down and keep spamming that down and just pushing the lane. So both characters kind of have their advantages with pushing the lane with certain abilities. Obviously Tormented Soil for Morgana, what she's doing now, that's going to allow her to, you know, go top, go bottom, try and get a couple ganks off. Obviously going straight in with that Dark Binding and Soul Shackles can be so beneficial, and maybe a kill coming out.
Indeed, I thought for a second perhaps there was going to be a potential gank in that mid on the cards, but Nocturne opting to try and steal the Wraiths instead, so having a bit of a minor counter jungle on the cards. Nautilus is going to be pushing into that bot lane, but what he doesn't know is there's actually a ward dead on top of him, so they know exactly what is going down there at bot lane, and you're going to see Urgot just pulling back that tower, does not want to risk anything, especially as Soraka has gone back to spawn and pick some items up. So let's have a look at the general item builds of both teams here. Top lane for Olaf, he's going to have the Heart of Gold, the Boots of Speed, and the Doran Shield as well, so he's relatively tanky, has quite a lot of HP for level 8 so far in this game. The opposition for Warwick is going to have the Ruby Crystal, the Cloth Armor, the Ninja Tabby Boots, and 2 Doran's Blades as well, so he's going to be very, very tanky. But we do actually have a dragon going off in amongst all that talking, and here we go, we could be kicking this one off, and you're going to have Anivia getting absolutely destroyed from that Soul Shackle. She is going to go down into the egg form. The question is, do they have enough damage to actually pick up this kill? And I think the answer is a yes. Indeed, Anivia will be going down, and the dragon as well, in amongst all that action. 2-1, and now Tri have taken that gold advantage. They have been behind since that first blood. Of course, Nesralas at top with Warwick did obtain it, so they do now edge themselves ahead in the gold lead, Enzi, but still, it's only 300. Very, very early days here.
Yeah, that was great play from Tri. You know, they had the timing just right. You know, Anivia, I think, just went backwards on her way back as well. You know, they were pushing the lane at bot lane as well, and you know, they just took the opportunity great. You know, went towards that dragon, then followed up a kill on towards Anivia as well, and even getting the kill after egg form. It would have been Morgana's kill, but due to the egg form, Tristana did pick that one up, so it's definitely going to favour Tristana at that bot lane. And Morgana was doing very good against Anivia anyway, so I think it's probably a bit better that Tristana actually picked up that kill, because, you know, she was getting pushed back quite a lot from Urgot, and that's going to allow her, you know, do a bit more damage and maybe push and contest that lane.
Yeah, absolutely. You want your AD carry, especially if they're slightly behind, to pick up those kills, of course, because they will get some gold back. And it's pretty much more about gold than kills. We said this a few times, Enzo. You could be 20-0 down, but if you're close on gold, doesn't really make any difference. I have to say, though, Anivia's position there from Citizen was quite poor. He was kind of segregated, he was separated from the rest of his team, so he just got focused down from Morgana. Of course, once that Dark Binding landed, it was game, set, and match for Anivia. She could be under attack once again. The only thing working against Nautilus here is he is 3 levels behind, and he has an Oracle at his disposal. But here comes Morgana. They are going to try and set up this gank once again. Dark Binding was used there, but the Dredge Line coming into effect. You're going to have the Soul Shackles as well being popped there, and Anivia has been stunned, but I don't think there's enough raw damage output there to pick up the kill into Anivia. So a lot of kind of abilities were popped, and a couple of summoner spells as well. But here comes Tristana, and she's going to pop in, and again Anivia's just going to pull back and should be pretty much A-OK. And that's going to enable the top lane to go down here from Navi. So a lot of action condensed into a few seconds there. The end result, though, Anivia getting ganked 2 or 3 times, and she's still alive and kicking.
I think she would have definitely been dead if the communication was right for Tri right there. You saw that the Dredge Line came in just as the Dark Binding was popped from Morgana there, and, you know, it just went straight through the wall, because obviously he popped the Dredge Line at practically the wrong time. I think Morgana would have hit that, then they could have followed up with the Dredge Line, then a lot more damage would have came out. You know, all Morgana could have done after that is the Soul Shackles, and that was under the tower, and then the Tormented Soil. So yeah, just maybe a bit of communication error.
Yeah, definitely. When you have 2 like stuns or snares, you really want to try and even them out. Either way, Nautilus has picked up the kill onto Urgot there. Very, very low HP at that bot tower, only 81 remaining, and as I said before, Nautilus has picked up the Oracle, so he's going to take down that ward with ease. So 3-1 an advantage to try, but they're only 200 gold up, so it doesn't really make a great deal of difference there. Still very, very early days, as that blue buff is once again going to be giving to Anivia, so she's going to be trying her best. But just back to what we said before, NZ, had they have kind of stacked, you know, the Dark Binding and then the Dredge line, I'm absolutely sure Anivia would have gone down there. It was just kind of they popped both of their stuns, so to speak, at the wrong time, and so Anivia was able to put down that wall and actually really harass Nautilus there. Nautilus had to flash through the wall just to save his own skin. So in that sense, it was kind of an epic fail actually coming out from Tri.
Yeah, Triss came in as well, and that actually forced Anivia to use the Ignite. Obviously was a bit scared. Maybe would have thought, okay, maybe I can get the kill with the tower aggro and Tristana stays about, but Triss did back off very cleverly. And, you know, they did pop a couple summoner spells, but I definitely think that, you know, they're going to be back up. They're going to go on the defensive just for a little bit, and they should be absolutely fine.
Absolutely. So we have had a lot of action now, guys. Started relatively slow, but it started to pick up in the last 5 or so minutes. Let's have a quick look at top lane again. Olaf on 94 creep score. Warwick is edging ahead here at 108. Has the Glacial Shroud already, so definitely going to be building towards Frozen Heart, especially as he already has one of the 2 required cloth armors. And we are going to see some action as Warwick's going to jump on top of that. Olaf. Olaf does not have the tower up here, so he's got a long way to run back. He's going to pop that Ragnarok and Ghost as well, and Warwick realizes, I'm not going to be able to catch up with him. I'll just let Bromacia run away, and we'll live to fight for another day. Either way, you can actually see Anivia getting caught out here. The answer is actually going to be a no, as Morgana is more interested in that creep score than a potential gank or a potential catching out of Anivia. Either way, Nocturne is on his way down towards mid lane, and he does actually have his ultimate off cooldown, so for a second thought perhaps they're going to try and kill Morgana, but Anivia's going to go back as she has very low mana, more than likely going to be building up here. And what's she taken? Wowzers! Anivia has got Warmog's armor, NZ. Wow.
It's viable, man.
It is
viable.
viable.
I actually saw a, I can't remember what it was, but I was watching TSM play, and Reginald actually got Warmogs on Cassio as well. And, you know, it's kind of, you don't see it a lot, but it's definitely viable, and, you know, not many people use it.
Absolutely. I mean, I actually really like this item here, NZ. If I'm honest with you, I mean, you have a look at the kind of characters that she's facing off against, the likes of a Morgana, the likes of, you know, Olaf and then Tristana and Nautilus. I mean, they have so much raw damage coming out there. So Anivia really is playing right now for the idea of, look, I want to stay alive as long as possible. I want to be able to just use that Glacial Storm, of course, her ultimate, in those team fights for as long as I possibly can. Really do so much damage. And due to the fact that she has Tear of the Goddess, she's going to be able to be spamming those abilities so much as well. So really interesting, but in my opinion, a really nice item there for Anivia. Need to be careful. Obviously, Dragon has just respawned, so you can have the majority of the teams here just kind of lurking around this area. All 5 of Tri are already down. Warwick is still on his way, but he is stood next to those mid creeps, so Tri know exactly what's going on here. It's really going to be a case of who makes the first move. Here comes Nautilus, going to be attacking that Nocturne. He's going to get feared though, and he's kind of out of position. Never mind though, because Navi very quickly pulling back, realizing that Warwick was out of position. They did not want to kick off that team fight without him right in amongst all of that action, and it's really going to be a case of who gets that first punch in. Is Anivia's going to put down lots of damage. Here comes Paranoia though. Morgana has popped off the Soul Shackles. Can she stun 2 players? Yes, she will. It's going to be Soraka and Anivia. Anivia's having to pull back now. She's on very low health, and without Warmog's armor, she would have been down. So again, a beautiful item coming in. The swap as well from Urgot will be able to pick up another kill there onto Tristana. Bromacia has been called from Olaf. He's going to be chasing after that. Warwick will finish it off with the reckless swing. So a bit of a culmination of fails there from Navi as they do go 3-2 behind. Anivia on very low HP and low mana as well. Can she actually steal this dragon? She's going to try her best. Needs to be careful that Dredge line knows Nautilus will throw that one out. And Urgot is already trying to recall as he has absolutely no mana whatsoever. So this is going to be a dragon that falling into the hands of Tri, who take a 900 gold advantage. Still NZ very close.
Yeah, slowly stacking up, and I think maybe Tri was a bit off with her focus right there. You know, Anivia was up for so long, was just at the back, just spamming away. So I don't really know. I think they did come out on top though, Vince. I couldn't really see. I think it was about 1 kill difference, and obviously they got the dragon as well. So you know that gold slowly but surely stacking up, and Try doing a very good job with them. Dragons had the timer down. Navi were a bit out of position to start with, but they gathered themselves as well, and they managed to get up a few kills. But that Nivea pick-up item, it's good in a way, but she's kind of substituting a bit of damage going into the later game now, and that's going to give Morgana the edge. That's going to allow her to do much more damage in team fights and maybe come off with an advantage. Try just need to make use of it now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, NZ, because you have a look at her now. She has 59 ability power at 20 minutes through the game. That's an AP carry with 59 ability power. That is not good. Sure, she has a lot of health. Sure, she's very, very tanky in that kind of respect. But really, as I said before, you want Urgot to be the tank on your team. And here we are going to have that Olaf being ganked once again, but using Ragnarok to run away with Ghost as well, so he should be fine. Nautilus, in the meantime, is going to take down that ward and potentially going to pick up this blue for just him. So the question is, though, will Nocturne try the steal? Let's have a quick look at the smites. Are they both off cooldown? Well, the answer is no, as Nautilus has just used his, but Nocturne had already popped his before, so obviously that was a free blue in the end coming in from Morgana. Morgana's going to go back towards that mid. So let's have a quick look at the difference here on ability power between those two mid characters. Anivia on 62 now, Morgana on 147, and Enzi, she has already finished off that Zombie's Hourglass. That is going to be painful.
Exactly, and now that's come into effect in team fights when she bursts that Soul Shackle out. Anivia won't be able to do any damage to her anyway, and even after that comes down, the cooldowns are going to be on Anivia, and then Morgana can take advantage of it. So I could kind of see where Anivia was coming from, but she has took a huge risk. It's just now on Try to really take advantage of this, like I said, and let's hope for the best.
Oh, here we go, bot lane. Johnny using Monsoon to push Urgot away. I think he's going to go down here. He's very, very tanky indeed, but it doesn't matter because he's well and truly out of position due to that Monsoon pushing him back towards the enemy tower. Now Paranoia is going to be popped in that mid lane. Will Morgana be going down? She has Hourglass at her disposal if she so chooses to use it. I think she's going to bait out here. Indeed, she will. Onto that tower. Here comes Olaf. The Kaboom Baby will absolutely destroy Nocturne, and now potentially another kill onto Anivia as well. He's going to do just the same again. She's gone into egg form, but she's definitely going to be going down. But look at how tanky she is, NZ. Oh my god, she has 3 players wailing down on her, and she managed to survive for that long. That's all well and good. In that kind of position, without doing a lot of damage, it's kind of just delaying the inevitable there. So again, kind of a strange kind of decision. She has 1,300 gold at her disposal, so she's not going to even be able to pick up the needlessly large rod if she so chooses. And as I said before, Urgot typically builds very tanky NZ, so you want your AP carry to actually be doing a lot of damage, and right now Anivia is not doing just that.
This is exactly what happened with TSM, but with an Orianna. She was there, she was doing a bit of damage, but not huge burst damage like Morgana's doing right now. But that play was absolutely tremendous, just from that Morgana right there, baiting them into the tower, then popping the Hourglass just at the right time. She waited, she popped that spell shield as well, dodged an ability as well, and then Olaf came down to just finish it up, and then Nocturne was in just a superb position coming from that river and just picking up that fear, and then the kill onto Anivia after that egg form. So beautifully played from Try. I said this, I'll say it again, Try are an absolutely incredible team. They went 3 maps with Moscow 5 as well. If you haven't seen that, go check it out on Chaos Contingency. It is absolutely epic. Try are just playing so superb right now. It's kind of flawless.
Yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, Enzi, surely if you're going to take a Warmog's armor on Anivia, you take it kind of 4th or 5th item. You don't take it first, because you want for that kind of early to mid game to be doing a lot of damage and picking yourself up kills so you can build the Warmogs quicker with the rewards that you obtain. And, I'm actually of the opinion, Enzi, that perhaps, Citizen here in mid should have gone with Rod of the Ages, because it's very tanky, gives them ability power as well, instead of that Warmogs. I don't know what your thoughts are about that, but honestly, I think Rod of Ages would have really worked out better for him here.
Rod of Ages would have worked. Even a Riot Age Crystal Scepter, coming in would work as well. It gives you a bit more HP and ability power just to keep you chugging along, and then you can start building towards that Warmogs or something. Warmogs is one of them items where you want to do it situationally. I think Citizen died once and then decided to pick up the Warmogs. That is in no position to actually pick a Warmogs up personally. So I have no idea, and Olaf I did just see got shut down there. Obviously didn't have the ghost up, and Warwick did chase. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nestralas, of course, is the Duking King. He just baits around forever. He wasn't allowing Olaf to do just that, so he flashed in, used the Hungering Strike, finished him off there as Olaf was trying his best to run away. He actually has Shirai's Reverie there, Enzi, so he has the Ragnarok, he has the Ghost, and the Shirai's Reverie. If anyone's able to escape, it's Olaf right now. Warwick, too good to fall with that Blood Scent, does get a nice movement speed bonus. Either way, once again starting to congregate around this dragon, it must be due up any time shortly. Navi going for the kill here. They have put down the wink board? The pink board, even. The wink board, that's a new word right there. I'm going to have to copyright that one. But either way, trying to clear up those walls for the dragon. There we go, it has respawned, so beautiful timing on the cards there from Navi. Has to be said, actually, Enzi, that both these teams, very good with their time, but here comes Morgana. She's going to get walled off there. Beautiful wall coming in, but look at the damage, and look at how sustainable she is. She refuses to go down. Hourglass has been popped as well. Big damage here. Nobody's fallen as of yet. And Navi going back into the fray once again. Here comes the Nocturne. Paranoia Ultimate coming in as well, and the Monsoon, beautiful from Jack, pushing back those players. Warwick surely is going to get dropped any second. Now there you go, Bromasa has been called from Olaf once again, chasing after that. Soraka has popped, taken off, going to be chasing her around the corner there, but a nice flash coming in. Urgot's been dropped as well, courtesy of Nautilus, and here comes Tristana, trying to pick up a nice couple kills. Nice reg line there actually from Nautilus, picking up the kill onto Soraka, and Ivia's gone down as well, and that's just going to leave Nocturne all by himself against 5 very hungry Tri players. And I'll agree with you, Enzi, I think Tri are an incredibly underrated team. We are seeing it time and time again. They just steamroll over oppositions. They've picked up the 4-for-0 exchange and are more than likely going to take that dragon down as well. Beautiful play from them.
Magicster in mid, it has been doing so good. I just saw all through that fight, the spell shields, the shields coming off from Morgana was absolutely tremendous right there. Just timed it beautifully when Nocturne came in with that fear, completely denied it. Otherwise, you know, you were saying she was just so kind of tanky, she was so sustainable. It was just that spell shield. She did it perfectly, right timing. There wasn't enough damage, so the shield stayed off for even longer. Magicster has been playing superbly throughout this whole game. Really great.
You know, here's the irony, Enzi. I do love me a bit of irony. Anivia went for tanky very early. She's died 3 times. Morgana went for big AP and the Hourglass. She's died 0 times. That right there is irony. And I can't help but feel that if Anivia had gone, I know we're harping on about this, Enzi, but it's so important, these kind of games, that had she gone for ability power, or at least something like the Rod of Ages, or a Rylace Crystal Scepter, as you said before, something like that, perhaps she would have got a lot more kills here. Currently 1-3-1. Morgana has 1 kill and 9 assists, so she's been really detrimental to that opposite team. Either way, let's carry on the action here. Quick look at the towers will suggest that you do have Tri ahead by 1. They've currently got 2. Navi on 1. Goal difference starting to open up here. 8.1k advantage in favour of Tri. They have completely destroyed the last few team fights. You're going to see Anivia trying to pop off a couple of abilities there onto Tristana. She did land the Flash Frost and also the Frostbite, but you can see there, I mean, Tristana didn't even lose a quarter of her health. And for Anivia, you're expecting to see those 2 combos taking at least 50% health off a character like Tristana. So, again, kind of strange. Now Nautilus is going to go and clear out that ward coverage on the Baron. And there's absolutely no visibility whatsoever coming out from Navi now. So they have no idea what the deal is from this Tri team. They could very well be going for Baron for Leno. And you are going to start to see them pushing around here onto Wraith. Obviously, opting to play it slow and steady. Unbeknownst to them, though, Tri are not going to bother with Baron just yet.
The thing with getting the warm up, Anivia's one of them champions in mid is just relies on the burst damage on a single target. She can't do that right now. As you said, didn't even take a quarter of an AD carry's HP away. So you know she kind of needs to fix that. It was a mistake, but we could see a Baron very shortly, and you know I'd probably favour try to get it even with Baron aggro. I think they could probably take Navi right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, look at Morgana. She has the Hourglass and also Rabadon's Death Cap. So let's have a quick switch over to her and see how much ability power she has. And indeed, as you say, oh god, 378 ability power at 29 minutes. Let's compare that to Anivia, who has just picked up the large rod there. She's on 188. And you can kind of see that she's a bit desperate. She's picked up the Elixir of Brilliance here, so she's going to try and boost up that ability power slowly but surely. But you know, actually, if they can manage to pick up a team fight or 2 here, and Anivia can finish off a couple items, she's definitely going to be viable for that late game period. Because Warmogs, who do stack creeps, how many does she have so far? She has the full stacks there on the Warmog, and of course you don't lose them if you die. It's not an item like a Leviathan or a Bloodthirst or something like that, but she is going to be getting towered over here from Morgana. Nice damage coming in there, and the Dark Binding landing, but they realise that the rest of the cavalry is on the way from Navi, so they are going to pull back. Potential team fight coming in here, and Navi don't want to overextend, because I'm not sure if they know if that full Tri lineup was waiting in the bush there, and with Nautilus, of course, with the depth charge, and also the dredge line, you don't want to get caught out by him, because he can really mess up your day. Either way, you're going to potentially have a team fight coming underneath this tower. But it's on very high HP actually, so I'm not sure what's going to go on here, but either way, they are going to have the swap coming in, they are going to have that team fight kicking off. Monsoon used very early on that Urgot's on such low health, dangerously low health, and Urgot is going to come in with a reckless swing. Is he going to pick up any more kills here, chasing after that Nocturne? Tristan's going to finish her off, as he has been called once again. Ragnarok is on the field, and here comes Brolaf trying to take down that Anivia. He has the frozen mallet, so it's so difficult for Anivia to escape him right now. She's going to go into egg form, going to get taken down as well. In amongst all those 5 players from Troy, another cataclysmic loss of life coming in from Navi. It's going to be the team ace, in fact, and nobody has fallen from Troy. That's going to be a free Baron, as the majority of those players are going to be out of the equation for another 40 seconds, NZ, and I can definitely see this second game going into the hands of the Italians here.
Well, the thing is, Urgot, was kind of smart in that move to pull the armor, but when you're pulling the Tristana, she can just rocket jump straight out there. So Tristana is just a great pick against Urgot due to that. The swap comes in, just rocket jump straight out of the situation again, and you're exactly where you were to start with. Janna was so good with that Monsoon. Positioning at the start was actually very off for Tri right there. They were kind of split up, but that Monsoon kind of split them up. It was kind of a down the middle thing, and she was in the middle, and then Tri were, they could reposition themselves, they had the time, and then boom, they could strike. They strike with effect. That was a team ace. None of their players fell, and that gold difference is going up and up and up, and Tri getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Morgana's actually going back now. I'm going to be interested to see what she plays up.
Yeah, I kind of feel, quite sorry for Nestralas here from Navi, because on Warwick he has a higher creep score than the enemy he was facing off against, which of course Olaf. Warwick has 207 creep score, Olaf an 180, and he has relatively decent items. He was doing well at top lane, was holding off Olaf nicely, but everywhere else around him was crumbling. And in those team fights, obviously Olaf has been picking up a lot of assists, a lot of kills as well, and he has slowly but surely really gained that gold advantage. Let's have a quick look on the overall gold. You're going to have Tristana is the top gold getter here. She's on 11,870, and if you have a quick look over to the top gold getter on the opposition, it's going to be, let's have a look, Anivia with 9,000, so quite a big difference right there. Going to have another team fight kicking off here. Warwick's going to pop that ultimate, but it's not going to be that useful on a Nautilus who's very tanky. Nautilus just taking damage from pretty much 4 or 5 players. He does not seem to care. Shari's Reveille's been popped down there. Soul Shackle's coming in, huge damage from Morgana, and it's going to be finished off for the rest of his team. 2 have gone down already, and this is just looking very one-sided. Tri are in the driver's seat, cruising down the highway right now. Have picked up 3 players. It's soon to be a 4th as Urgot goes down as well. And Warwick is your last remaining player. Must be wondering what the hell just happened, guys. And he's going to have to face off against 5 Tri once again. And see, that is the 3rd or 4th team fight in a row where Tri have only lost 1 or even no players. Very one-sided.
Thing is, I think that was actually Warwick's mistake engaging onto Nautilus there. At this stage, Tri are always going to be together. Warwick might have thought, he's out of position, he's just trying to counter jungle. That wasn't the case. Uses armor on one of their tankiest players for Tri right now, if not the tankiest player for Tri. And it was just a bad decision. I can only guess. They're a bit down right now. The inhibitor is going to go down as well. They're going to have full map control. I don't see Tri losing from this position right now. There's 2 team fights have gone where Tri has lost absolutely no one, and after something like that happens, it's just kind of like, yeah, I think it's kind of over.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Warwick deciding to use his infinite duress onto Nautilus. Nautilus currently has, Aegis of the Legion, Heart of Gold, Kindle Gem, Frozen Heart. Is that really who you want to focus down first? Not really, and especially when the rest of his team is just stood right next to him. You have the likes of Morgana with Soul Shackles off cooldown, and they have 2 Shari's Reveries as well. Both Olaf and Nautilus have picked 1 up apiece, so Morgana, once she pops that ultimate, she's going to be very difficult to get away from, NZ. And Ivia's really going to have to land a perfectly placed wall, and so far she hasn't been able to do that. She's finally finished off the Rabadon's death cap, but Morgana's already had hers for about 5 or 6 minutes, with the Hourglass as well. She's already picked up the Void Staff, So she's going to be doing so much damage. Let's have a look at her ability power. 554 with that Baron buff. Ouch.
How much does Anivia got?
And Anivia has, let's have a switch over, 272. Big difference. Literally doubling Anivia's AP right now.
Well, we've said this so many times, but that was just a huge mistake getting that Warmogs that early on. If you're gonna do it, get it situationally, get it later on in the game. I can't dwell on that enough. She needed that early AP. She needed that Rabadon's first, really. So you could kind of see where she was coming from building tankier, but at the start you need that AP, and if it counts on that burst damage on a single target, so she needs that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if have a quick look at that gold as well, and it's looking a bit ominous here, but let's actually follow on the action, because there is another team fight kicking off here. Is Nocturne is going to be trying to come in last, but Norvis has already popped his ultimate off. Big Monsoon coming in there, but perhaps actually managing to save a couple of the opposition teammates there. There's Urgot is somehow still alive. Nocturne has been dropped over from Tristana, now going to be chasing once again. Olaf is taking point there, but taking heavy towered aggro, and you're going to have a couple of flashes just to save their life. Warwick's going to go back into the fray once again. Not too sure about that decision. That's going to be the top inhib going down. The mid inhib is already, and Nocturne's going to be pulling himself. Sorry, not Nocturne. Nautilus is going to be pulling himself back into the action once again, but she's going to be able to escape. And Warwick went down as well. Another dredge line actually landing there from Nautilus. Been doing a great job with them, landing them all day, but he could be going down here as Ignite has been popped on him. Nice flash frost as well, as Nivea gets a double kill onto Tristana. Beautiful play from her, but a bit of too little too late in my opinion, and it's now a 3v3, so they have managed to stave off the loss for now, but it's not going to be able to keep them in this game. You have to feel as did try to flash frost back on again. Morgana's going to come back in with the Ignite, and the Tormented Soil isn't going to be dead. Urgot, he's on solo health, he is going to go down from that last tick of Ignite. So unfortunate. And Nivia's going to try his best to reply back onto the Morgana, but there's Olaf and the beautiful Dark Binding and Tormented Soil come in from Morgana. She is going to be able to rebirth there. Of course, her passive is now down. Look at that damage that Morgana does to Nocturne, and see, that is absolutely ridiculous. Down to half health.
One Dark Binding literally just takes about half HP. Standard stuff. Try, they're not going to lose from this position. 2 inhibs down. That's what I kind of call the GG. I mean, you have constant harass if you decide, just to harass top lane. I mean, even if they win a team fight, could not push. The Super Minions are going to go backdoor and take that Nexus down in a heartbeat. Oh, you're going to leave me again, Vince? They took the surrender, and then I talk about, whatever.
Look, what you were
you have
saying
NC syndrome.
What you were saying was completely true, regardless of the surrender vote or not. You're dead on the money, and I think Navi just realised, oh guys, this is well and truly lost. This is past being lost actually. So why not just surrender? Fair enough, we managed to survive that last onslaught, but we're only delaying the inevitable there. So obviously surrender vote going to come in and do take this game 2-0. So Navi and NZ are now out of the Corsair Vengeance Cup. They have no stake in this $10,000 prize pool.
Indeed. Navi are a really good team. I just think that I'm not going to blame it all on Anivia, because, it's down to a team game. The Warmogs was a bad idea, but, they kind of have to brush that off. You win some, you lose some. Try that game, they were stronger, and, they're going to advance through. So nothing you could do about that. At the day, Try were a better team. And as I said, Try are so underrated. They're such a great team, put up a tremendous fight against Moscow 5. So I really am interested to see what they do. To the likes of Moscow 5 again. If they do face Moscow 5 again or Tier 7 or something like that, it would be absolutely a pleasure to watch. Yeah,
I'm actually just going to go out on a limb here, Andy, and say that Tri are one of the dark horses of this tournament. I can actually see them progressing really, really far. Obviously, they're already into the knockout stages, but I can see them kind of getting themselves another 2 or 3 rounds at least. I think they're an incredibly underrated team, but either way, very comfortable victory in the end from them. I think that's going to conclude our coverage of tonight's Corsair Vengeance Cup, Enzi. We did have a couple more games scheduled, but unfortunately they got rescheduled to other days due to a couple of technical difficulties from the players. So, is there anything else you'd like to say, Enzi?
Just thanks to the viewers for, watching again. It's a shame it's only one game, but we can't do anything about it. We've had reschedules constantly. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.